Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the mix. Welcome to my channel. I am your host, owner, and creator of this channel. It's early morning, and yeah, I'm trying to go and get an early morning workout and racquetball. I'm not going to record it. I've been slowly, gradually going back to the gym, somewhat consistent, but I haven't been recording content. I've just been focused on getting in there and getting out. So but yeah, hopefully you guys are being active, and yeah, there you have it. Shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you so much. I am a new creator, as you all can see, and I just appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone chiming in on different topics I discuss on my channel. Again, this is a multifaceted channel, mixture of topics I like to discuss and want to bring to you all, and want to provide the most accurate information as possible. And but yeah, thank you. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Shout out to those who are just simply viewing. But while you're viewing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the mix, and drop comments in the comment section. Okay, Tory Lanez. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Amia, I think that's the commenter name, on one of, I think, the recent videos I posted about Tory Lanez's motion being denied. Thank you for your comment. You're on to something. Also, shout out to, I think, Rhonda in New York. You both are on to something. Shout out to you both. And I don't want to pile on Tory's new team of attorneys. They did the best they can. They were the cleanup people. It's just like, and I like to use Bill Cosby's case as a comparison. Attorney Jennifer Bonjean came in as an appeal attorney, to my understanding, in the Cosby case, and she was the cleanup person. Although, to me, Cosby had effective counsel at trial. He did. He had effective counsel at trial, because that's a whole nother subject, because he actually had a mistrial the first time. To me, that was effective for the jury to come back, I think a hung jury or something like that. That's what it was. And then, but what I didn't like is, with Cosby's situation, the prosecutors didn't have to go after him a second time, spend the state's money, the taxpayers' money, but they did, and that's when they landed a conviction against Cosby, when they retried him again due to I think, a mistrial. So attorney Jennifer Bonjean came in to play for the appeal. But again, in my opinion, I believe Bill Cosby had effective trial attorneys. And so back to Tory Lanez, Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, because they did play this character at trial. I didn't know that, and based off of what I've been reading and reports and things of that nature, that his trial team from last year were referring to Tory as Tory Lanez, when that's not his government name. That is, if that was the case, I don't know for a fact, but I've been reading some reports, and the media, of course, they're going to report him as Tory Lanez. That's who we know him as. But as far as his legal team, they should have been referring to him as Daystar Peterson during his trial. If they were not, shame on them. Again, I'm not piling on his new team of attorneys, because they were the cleanup people. They did the best they could. They come in after the convictions and try to unravel what happened at trial through previous counsel. I'm going to explain this to you all based off of my experience in this industry. Judges, attorneys, even when they're opposition on attorneys, when they're on the opposite side, they don't like to really throw attorneys under the bus. To me, I equate it to law enforcement. You know how law enforcement, they all stick together, right, wrong, and are different. For the most part, legal professionals do too, and judges. They're all from the same community. Like I stated, I'm going to post a little deep dive I did on Judge David Hereford. He's the judge that presided over Daystar Peterson's trial. And Judge Hereford was an attorney. He graduated from law school, I think Stanford Law School. So, I'm going to post that video later, so just to give you guys a good idea. But also you can head on over to my video section, and you can see early on this year in 2023 I did a breakdown on attorney selections. It's how important it is, and to select a good attorney, the best attorney as possible, especially one with trial experience. That's who you want to select. One who has trial experience. Even if it wasn't that successful, at least they are familiar with trial experience, knowing how to get in there and object to things that needed to be objected to, knowing how to get in there and file motions to suppress certain evidence that should not be admitted, evidence that will go against their client. It's like a will and deal, knowing how to go in there and get rid of potential jurors who pose a threat to your client. You have to be, when you are an attorney going to trial for your client, especially if there's no plea deal reached, which in this instance, I'm glad Tory didn't plead, but as Amia stated, his attorneys, they could have wheeled and dealed possibly with the prosecutors for lesser charge. I don't know if they did that or not, but I've been in situations, and I'm going to use, not me personally, but someone I know. I helped them select an attorney. I did like a research. I actually found an article on one particular attorney, and this is in Illinois. So I'm like, wow. This particular attorney ended up, his name, I'm going to put it out there. He's a criminal law attorney, Attorney Vig. Attorney Vig, V-I-G. If you need to hire him in Illinois, hire him. I don't know if he handles cases in Chicagoland area, but possibly he might make the trip, but it's probably going to cost you. But he's like a southern suburban attorney from Illinois. It's like Springfield area, but he's a great attorney. Google him, Attorney Vig. I found the article when I was looking and searching, trying to help someone. Excuse me, it's early morning. I found an article on Attorney Vig, and he actually helped someone. He sued the county. This is a particular county he sued on behalf of his client, and they won almost $250,000. I'm gonna say $250K. His client, when he sued that particular county. I read the reviews on Attorney Vig. He got this person had so many felony charges. Attorney Vig got it reduced to misdemeanors. And these were serious felony charges. So like Amia stated, Tory Lanez attorneys at trial, they probably didn't even have to go to trial. They probably could have wheeled and deal or let them know, like, hey, let the county, these ducks. I don't want to hit no ducks, y'all. Oh my gosh. You go to jail hitting ducks. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. I got around them. Whew, thank you. So, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so if they could have willed and deal to avoid like really going to trial, or while at trial, willed and deal to try to get the charges reduced, then yes, that would have been great, and Tory would have been out now. Excuse me, Daystar Peterson would have been out now. You see, I'm calling him Tory Lanez because everybody's calling him Tory Lanez. But for a long time, I didn't know his name was Daystar Peterson, meaning his government name. So my apologies. I'm kind of, that's what everybody has been referring to him as, and I think, like I stated before, his trial attorneys referred to him as Tory Lanez when they should not have been in court. But I'm sure once they were, I don't know who advised Tory on his legal team of attorneys. I remember when all of this popped off, when it jumped off, I would follow Tory during the quarantine radio. It was entertaining. I liked him. I'm like, oh my gosh, he is very talented, this and that. I got drawn into this, and then all of a sudden I saw MTS pop up. I'm like, what's she doing? So he was minding his business, living his best life, doing the twerk sessions for the females. That was funny and hilarious. And all of a sudden, weeks later, MTS pop up. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But back to his team of attorneys. So when all of that stuff jumped off, I remember being in his comment section. I was in his comment section on IG because I follow him on IG since the quarantine radio. I remember I was like, oh my God, I'm like, make sure you select an attorney that has your best interest at heart. I don't know if I went into details or whatever. Hopefully, I'm going to go back to his page and see if I can find his comments. I'm not really great with trying to locate comments on social media because I don't know all these different platforms like that. Nevertheless, still learning YouTube. Like I said, I'm a small content creator, but it gets greater later, and I'm growing. And thank you all again for your support. But yeah, so it's very important to select a good attorney from the jump. So back to the situation. Also, I'm going back and forth between the two. The person that I helped hire, attorney Vic, based off of my recommendations, and it wasn't. And I let the person know, like, now this is not absolute, but based off of my research, this is the best attorney possible. And plus, the other 2 or 3 attorneys didn't call me back, so I felt offended. Okay, I'm trying to get this person to hire you. I'm trying to give you a client, and you don't call me back. So yeah. So I was like, oh no. So that energy right there, I try to pick up on energy now. As I get older, I'm learning a lot of things and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, no, this is not a good attorney because they didn't call me back. This attorney, and this was over the holiday. So you just think about it. This particular person got in trouble over the holiday. Situation happened over the holiday, Christmas, and it's New Year's Christmas. So this particular attorney, it was January 1st. He called me back. He reached out to me, via email. And that right there, I was like, I just knew. I said, this is the one. And especially based off of the research I did. So yes, it's very important to hire a great attorney. Do your due diligence. Nothing is ever absolute. But just try to hire the best attorney possible. And this particular person that I helped select the best possible attorney for their case, because they were facing the same, sort of similar to Daystar Peterson. They were facing some G charges and stuff, and it was just a lot. So they were facing probably about 4 felonies, G charges, all of that, and a couple misdemeanors. Why attorney Vig got it reduced to 1 misdemeanor? Resisting arrest. I don't know what he did, because the person, of course, they ain't go into like super details, and this was like about 4 years ago, before quarantine even happened. But this particular person was so excited they didn't have to spend a day in jail afterwards. Of course, obviously when they got arrested, they were in jail for probably about a week or so. But attorney Vig got them out and everything. I don't know what he willed and deal, but based off of my reviews and research, he was that attorney. And like I stated, I read reviews on him. I went to the different legal websites. I looked at his rating. Then I started Googling to see if there's any news article or reports about attorney Vig, and I ran across that particular one where he helped a client sue the county, and he won like $200 and some thousand because it was a violation of his some type of rights. And this was a Caucasian attorney, and his client was, I think, either black or Latino or something like that. So with him doing work like that, I was like, okay, yeah, because of course obviously I'm black, but I was like, okay, yeah, he seems like he really advocates for his client. And I remember the person that I helped select attorney Vig, he was like, when I showed up at court, I think for one of his first hearings or whatever, okay, after he was released, he was like, when I showed up at court, the prosecutors, when they found out that attorney Vig was his attorney, they were irritated. So this attorney was making wave in this county, and the prosecutors couldn't stand it. And when they found out that this person that I helped select attorney Vig, that attorney Vig was his attorney, they were pretty much pissed. So that tells you that. So again, you have to do your best to select the best attorney possible. We're living in an information age. Knowledge is power. I'm not sure who advised Tory Lanez of this trial team of attorneys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. But in my opinion, he was ill-advised. His trial team of attorneys were trash. Not sure what happened to the attorney who he had hired originally. I think it was a female attorney. Not sure what really happened with that. I've heard so many different reports, and then for her to just leave the case, I don't know if it's before he began trial or what. I don't know. But the new team of attorneys, Matthew Bahama, David Kenner, and also Jose Baez, to me they were a solid team. The new team of attorneys, they are the cleanup. They come in and they trying to get the conviction overturned through these motions or through appeal. But obviously, since Judge David ended up denying the motion, of course, since Judge David ended up denying the motion, then you have no choice but file an appeal. So again, I'm not going to pile on them. They did the best they could. And as I stated before, rarely do attorneys throw each other under the bus. They like a legal community. They stick together even if they practice law in other states and then able to practice law in certain states, and they come across town or different counties and things of that nature. So, and they're in another, county, state, courtroom, all of that. They really throw each other. Just pay attention to media reports. Pay attention to how when certain outcomes happen, even if it doesn't go in their client favor, they're not going to dog the judge. They're not going to speak ill against the judge. They're not going to speak ill against the prosecutors. They're just going to make a general statement and say, oh, I feel that counsel got it wrong. I don't agree with the verdict, this and that. That's how they do, because one day they may cross paths again. One day they may need a job in administration, or they may need to cross state lines and relocate and practice law in another state. So they are colleagues. They're all colleagues. So that rarely happens. So that's why I am inclined to believe that Jose Baez did not really want to focus on ineffective counsel, because in my opinion, it was ineffective counsel. So many things happen with Daystar Peterson's case at trial with counsel. And go on over to my video section. I did videos on this early on this year, 2023, February, March, about how to possibly select the best attorney possible. Again, nothing is 100% or absolute, but I'm just giving you all some gems, just trying to educate you guys based off of my personal education and experience as well. So in this industry, no, I don't be in a courtroom and all of that, but I've been in courtrooms. I know how they are. I know how they kind of like operate. I've spoken to attorneys on personal levels. And a lot of times too, it's about power as well, knowing the right people in that industry, asking them to do certain favors, and two, most importantly, being able to be humbled in a situation. You got to kiki and play nice to get what you want. That's another thing too. But were there some errors at trial with Tory's team, with how they did not really push or advocate for him? In my opinion, based off of what I've reviewed and read and researched or whatever, again, I didn't follow his trial day to day. I just read bits and pieces, and I wasn't even creating content last year, back then. So yeah, I do believe there was some errors. There was some things. I do believe it's some fishy stuff going on too with the prosecutors, as far as unethical tactics, prosecutorial tactics, possibly all of that. I in my opinion, I do. In my opinion, I do. So, but I can't prove that. So the best bet, yes, is ineffective counsel. I was hoping Judge David would grant the motion for a new trial, but okay, obviously he didn't. Whatever. And like I stated, I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to release that video later on today about Judge David. Also, it's very important too, if you have to go to court for something, Google the judge. Try to get an understanding where he's at. Is there any articles? What type of political affiliation? All of this is chess, not checkers. That way you know how to kind of play certain things, or make certain moves, or try to appeal to certain situations to get yourself out of that jam or that situation you in. to hopefully get a favorable outcome in your interest. Google the judge. Google your I always do that. Google the judge's names to check to see if I see any articles on the judges, how they are in the courtroom. And people out here, since this is the internet, this is an information age, trust me, you're going to find some reviews on the attorneys and judges. People out here giving up their reviews. And it's starting to pop up. Things are starting to pop up in terms of different websites where you can go on and read reviews on certain judges now. Yes, I'm going to share that later on. What I came across. Also go to the ARDC website, Attorney Registration Disciplinary Committee for that particular state. Google their names. See if they had any high profile clients, or see if former clients spoke about them, about their practice. Even if you're looking for a civil attorney for lawsuits or civil suits, look that up. Look up the attorneys. The clients will say, oh yeah, I want a settlement for my attorney got me $500,000. Trust me, they're going to say, they were very clear. They were honest. They're going to give you a review. I did a review for the person I helped find Attorney Vig. And again, Attorney Vig is a great attorney. If you're in Illinois, Attorney Vig, V-I-G. He's a criminal defense attorney. Yes, hire him. He is. I have a family member. I helped her locate an attorney for a civil case. I'll let you guys know how that outcome go. I'm not going to release anything on who she's actually suing civilly, but it's a big company. And I helped her select an attorney. It's slow right now, but we're going to see how the outcome, and I'm going to share that with you all. I did research on her civil attorney. The attorneys. I Googled several, and we went with the best one possible. But yeah, let me go. Early morning, gotta get this workout on and get my day going. Like, share, subscribe to the mix. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm dropping comments also in my comment section. Thank you. Kind of was all over the place this morning, but I just wanted to touch bases with you guys. Amia, you're definitely on the right track. Rhonda, upstate New York, I totally agree. Both of you guys, boom. I don't know why we seem like we go early, huh? But I'll talk to you guys soon.